So my camera stopped recording. That's homophobic. I won't stand for it. Hey guys, it's me Xander, and it is really late, and I'm really tired, and I'm really sunburned, but I just got back from Capitol Pride, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the experience and show you some of the goodies that I went home with, and talk about the organizations that I saw there. So without further ado, let's get into it. I went to the Capitol Pride Festival in DC this year with my friend Julia, and it was her first Pride event, which was very exciting for both of us. And I don't think I went to the festival last year, so it was nice to see some new organizations and some organizations that I've seen at Youth Pride and Trans Pride. So we walked into the festival, and immediately we were greeted by two women on our left who were wearing tank tops and t-shirts of their organization. And instead of saying hello or trying to tell us about their organization, they threw a frisbee at us, and thankfully I caught it. And I have no idea what this organization is, because contrary to popular belief, throwing a frisbee at someone makes them go farther away, not closer to you. So this says LGBTQD on it, and this could be a dating website or a mental health awareness organization or something that works in education or with the government. I have no idea, but I have their frisbee, so free frisbee. Awesome. It was extremely hot today, and thankfully Julia and I brought our own water bottles, but they did have fans there, and Whitman Walker Health gave us fans with cute little people on them, and they're just adorable, and I love them. This company also gave me a transgender care and support pamphlet, and it talks about their locations and HIV testing hours and stuff like that. So helpful information. And also they gave me this 2-in-1 chapstick sunblock because it was 400 degrees today. The public transportation system around here is called the Metro, and they have subway trains as well as buses that go in and around DC. And they were here, and they also gave me a fan, except the handle broke, but that's alright. And it's rainbow, and I thought that was really cool. I had no idea that Metro took a stance for equality or LGBT anything at all. So this was the first time I saw them at a Pride event, so thumbs up. I also picked up something which I feel is a little bit redundant, because as you guys know, and I know you guys are very proud of me, I do have a very prominent mustache. However, I needed one that was a rainbow. I absolutely love this. 10 out of 10. One thing I really appreciated seeing this year was the abundance of resources for families at this year's Pride. So I wanted to show you some of the booklets that I picked up. The first booklet I picked up was from the Human Rights Campaign, and of course we had to visit the Human Rights Campaign table because we're at Pride, Human Rights Campaign. I'm not sure if Julia read this booklet before she handed it to me, but I still appreciate it. It says, "Coming Out as a Supporter, a Guide to Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Americans." Now, I am transgender, but I'm not lesbian, gay, or bisexual. You know, this might have some information about how I can, talk to people who may be in the LGBT community but have different experiences than I do. Now, I'm going to share with you a short story time, so get excited. Julia and I were walking down the Pride Festival, having a grand old time, when I saw the Path to Parenthood booth. And if you know me even a little bit, you know that one of my biggest dreams is to become a father someday. And I don't want to have a kid or start a family in the next few years, obviously, but somewhere, in my distant future, I'd like to settle down and raise a family. So I was like, might be good to learn about some of the resources out there. So I dragged Julia over to this booth, and the guy behind the table asks me if I plan on starting a family, and I said, not in the near future, but hopefully in a few more years than that. And so he immediately hands me this booklet. And I thanked him, not knowing what this booklet was, and I looked down to read it, and Julia looks over my shoulder to read it, and we both just start laughing. It says, or it's entitled, "The Gay Woman's Guide to Becoming a Mom." At this point, I'm like trying not to crack up in front of this guy because I don't want to laugh in his face because he's doing his job. He's trying to get resources out there. I understand. So I turned to leave, told him to have a happy Pride, and Julia looks down at the table at all of the booklets and grabs one and hands it to me. And this one is called Family Building for Transgender Men and Women. A little bit more fitting. I said, oh my goodness, this is perfect. And I actually looked in this booklet, and it has resources both for trans men and trans women about infertility and protecting your fertility and adoption and surrogate and sperm donors and egg donors. So this was actually really helpful. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, but if I meet any gay women and want to be a mom. The last resource that has to do with families is from PFLAG, of course, and that is Faith in Our Families. And this talks about coming out in a faith-based community and to your family who may be religious, and sort of your options and choices as far as leaving your church or promoting change in your community. The next group of materials I got were from faith-based organizations and organizations that talk about faith, and the only thing that I wish I saw was more organizations. I saw many denominational and non-denominational Christian-based organizations, and as a Christian, I appreciate that. However, I do think that some people of different faiths may have felt underrepresented or not at all represented at Pride. So hopefully in the years to come we have different faiths with booths out in the festival. The first pamphlet is entitled, "Is America a Christian Nation?" And this came from Americans United for Separation of Church and State. And this actually has a lot of information about the separation of church and state and freedom of speech and how especially Christianity plays into politics. So it's not a light read. I mean, there's like paragraphs and paragraphs, but that was interesting. And the people behind this booth were not the friendliest, so I didn't spend much time there and didn't pick up any of their other resources, which I kind of wish I had. There was a Lutheran church there, and they had this little postcard with a cute stained glass art on the back, so that was dope. The National City Christian Church was at the festival today, and they gave me this. This was the only resource I was allowed to take from their table, but it has information on a happy hour they've been doing for a couple years, as well as an LGBT Bible study, so that's cool. I've heard of the Church of the Pilgrims before, but they gave me a business card, which is very impressive. They fit so much information on this tiny card, as well as, get this, seeds. Yes. These wildflower seeds have directions on the back about how to plant them and how to maintain the plants. However, it doesn't give me any instructions on when I should plant them, and I feel like these might be spring flowers, so if you know anything about planting at all, let me know, because I don't want to plant these and them to suffer because I don't know how to plant them. The next thing I picked up was a business card from Center for Spiritual Living DC. They're a non-denominational spiritual community, and the people behind this booth were some of the nicest people I'd met all day, so kind of encouraged me to give them a second look. There's also a Nelson Mandela quote on the back of this card, and I appreciate it. The organization Smile was at the festival today, and they do a lot of youth volunteering programs and activism camps and stuff like that. However, there weren't any volunteer-based organization except the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps gave me this booklet with information about local projects as well as international ones, so a lot of good information and resources. I have to give props to the Peace Corps because in their booklet there are lots of graphs and pictures and images and not a lot of paragraphs, and I like it. So if you are trying to get your information out there, graphs, cute little map, a color-coded circle graph, some statistics in big letters. Sorry about that, guys. My camera died in the middle of making that video. So this is Xander from the future, here to tell you I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see my transition updates, I'll leave the link in the description, and if you want to see more videos from me in the future, subscribe. 1111, make a wish. I wish my rabbit would stop drinking from his water bottle because I'm trying to film the video. You didn't drink water all night, and then as soon as I turn the camera on, you decide you're like the most thirsty